How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Tales from the Darkside. This is Season 1, Episode 3, and this episode's entitled, I'll Give You a Million. This is from October 7th, 1984, directed by John Harrison. It stars Keenan, Wynn, and George Petrie. And the story is actually by John Harrison. The director came up with the story idea. The teleplay itself was written out by Mark Durand and David Spiel. And overall, I find with a lot of these Tales from the Darkside episodes, they really do rely pretty strongly on an interesting concept and a good hook, you know? And this one is a pretty memorable idea. The title, I'll Give You a Million, plays into the hook. The idea is they're the two older multimillionaires, and one of them says to the other, I'll buy your soul for $1 million. So the other guy is one of those stern, rational people. He doesn't believe in the soul, and the first millionaire says, if you don't believe in it, it's easy money, you're selling something that doesn't exist, and that wouldn't be the first time you've done that, so why not just sell it to me and you get a free $1 million? And that's just such a hook, you know, it's that, you know, that sort of classic bad deal, you know, so many old-timey horror stories, you know, like Monkey's Paw stories have really ridden on this thing, you know, it's something he doesn't think he believes in, but as more time passes, is he so sure that he doesn't believe in souls? Maybe he does think souls do exist when he gets closer to death. And it's a really classically styled story. And I do also like, you know, Tales from the Darkside, they use hooks. The first season, it wasn't super high budget, and they had to get around that by having really good concepts and really good writing, and they really do hit it out of the park. And even though a lot of this is, you know, these old millionaires later on in their lives and they're having this interesting bet, I do want to say this actually does go for it towards the end. It gets to some really interesting character designs, and a character pops up that I didn't think would pop up in this story. And yeah, the end really hits it out of the park. You know, it says, hey, we're Tales from the Darkside. This is horror. And there's some fun moments towards the end. Really memorable, but I won't spoil them. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and start talking about the plot. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few of the plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what the episode's about. We open up with these two millionaires. They're riding in the back of a limo, and they just foreclosed on someone, and they thought it was hilarious. And they're laughing and chatting and talking about business. And they say, you know, that they're, you know, using anything, bribery, sex, and murder in order to get what they want in the world. And one of them has an interesting proposition. He's one with this big mustache. I really do like they gave them the mustache. It makes the characters easier to remember which one's which. But the one with the big mustache says to the other, come to my place this afternoon. I have an idea and you can make some money off of it. So they go to his house and they're playing billiards. And while they're playing, they're betting like, I'll bet you $1,000 you can't make this shot. So you see, you know, they're using money kind of flippantly, and they're big gamblers, right? And then the other guy makes the bet, the famous hook in this episode, I'll give you $1 million if you sell me your soul. And the other guy's like, what? That's crazy. And he says, look, if you really don't believe in it, sell it to me, you'll make $1 million and it will have cost you nothing. So he convinces the other guy to do it. He drafts up paperwork, and you find there's a few stipulations, you know. The contract's void if the man who proposed the deal dies first, but if he's dead under any sort of mysterious circumstance, then the other guy has to pay his estate back $1 million plus maximum legal interest. And when he says that, you know, like, hey, if you try to murder me, I'll know and you have to give the money back to my estate, it also implies that this guy may have had his business partner killed, so they are pretty bad, you know, scumbag millionaire characters, you know? But anyway, of course, you know what's gonna happen is, shortly after he makes the deal, the guy has an issue with his liver, and he starts to worry that he might die soon, and says, hey, can I have my soul back? I'll give you the $1 million. Oh, I thought you didn't believe in such things. Yeah, well, you know, can I still have it back? And he says, and then this is a really good line in this episode, he's like, look, I'm dying. You'll enjoy the $1 million more than I will. You should have it. And the other guy goes, oh, but I am enjoying this immensely. It's such a great line where you see, you know, he paid him $1 million, but he is quite devious and he's quite, you know, quite happy to have made this deal, you know? So he is enjoying this a lot, but it all culminates to a dark and rainy night, and I won't go any further than that, but it does, you know, go into some classic haunting stuff, and you do lean heavy into the horror element, and I really do like that. You know, the ending really does take a big swing and hit it out of the park, and it is really, really fun. But yeah, another one where it just relies such heavily on this really good and interesting hook, and you can't help but be pulled in by that and wonder how the story is going to play out. Is he going to get his soul back? What's going to happen, you know? And that classic, oh, I'm sure of something, there's no such thing as that. But when it comes down to the wire, and you have to ask yourself, is that really what you believe? You're almost gonna die. Is that really what you believe? And like I said, a very classically styled horror story. It's like an old horror story you might have read in a book, you know, kind of got that, you know, timeless bad deal quality. And to see these old men just, you know, backstab each other, you know, these really old, really rich, you know, the old rich guy, such a staple in things like Creepshow, you know, but to see them go after each other, you know, because it's not them bullying down on a little guy, it's two of them, two financial titans, really attacking each other, and that is interesting, you know, not all-out battle attack, but more just getting in each other's heads, and that one guy really loves to mess with the other. Overall, a really fun episode. I love the hook, I love where it pays out, and it's just a cool, classically styled horror episode. So I had a ton of fun with this one. To everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist. I've already reviewed the first 2 episodes, and I plan on covering more in a timely manner, probably doing this every week. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.